Hey, Kat. Hi, Tony.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Tony, I haven't. I don't think I've met you yet. Or if I have, I'm sorry if I've forgotten.
No worries. Um, I'm someone that Tracy asked to actually start participating as an advisor to her and the board. Longtime career in IT, most recently before retiring, IBM, and before that AT&T and a few other things.
Wonderful. Okay, that's outstanding news. It's great. It's great to have you here. Thank you.
My pleasure. And I don't know, since we've met, I can't say I would know you either.
Okay. Yeah. I'm currently with Red Hat. Let's see here. Uh, Andrew Block and uh, I mean Kat here as well. As we've been developing and another couple other devs have been developing the Emporous concept for the past about a year now, and yeah.
Very good. I guess the main guy I know pretty well at Red Hat is E. Nodden, who's in the CTO's office these days as the architecture leader.
Oh, okay. I'm I'm not I don't personally know them, but yeah, that'd be yeah. I'm actually with currently with ProdSec at Red Hat, so we're
So I understand the difference between development and the customer facing organization. They're pretty separate.
yeah.
Alex, you have been both.
I have. Yep.
There's always a customer, right? All right. So I went ahead and shared my screen. I'm going to also drop the link to the meeting agenda in the Zoom chat here for anyone who doesn't already have it pulled up. As anyone on the call may already know, we are still pretty early on in our community meeting routine. So feedback is always welcome, of course, for how we might improve things over time. My name is Kat Morgan. I am not part of Red Hat. I am part, though I did originally meet Alex at Red Hat. I am currently a developer on the Azure operator cloud product features at Microsoft. So I will be your host for today, and we will work through our agenda as it gets filled out. To start off with, I would definitely ask that everybody take a moment and add themselves as attendees. I will do the same. That is something we will really appreciate over time if we can make a consistent habit of it. And of course, while you're in there logging attendance, if you discover you don't have access, right access to the document, all you have to do is join the Google group, the mailing list, and then that should give you access to write on the document as well. I know that Tony, you just introduced yourself, so I appreciate that. If we have any other new attendees that would like to say hello or just introduce themselves, now is a great time to do that.
So, hi everybody. This is Steve Taylor from Deploy Hub and the Ortelius open source project. Just been chatting with a bunch of you folks over the last month or so. So just glad to see that you have your meetings up and going, and looking to follow along.
Awesome. It's good to have you. All right. So at the moment, there's not a whole lot filling up the agenda. What I usually do is walk through all of the open floor agenda items and then jump into reviewing any PRs, mailing list items, or bugs that have come up and appear idle since the last meeting. We'll go through 1 or 2 weeks worth of time for that. Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
I'm sorry, I fat fingered my entry into the open floor discussions. I'm going to fix that, but I think I put it into the template section of the doc. So I'm going to,
yeah,
I can correct that.
I can pull that down. It's no worries.
Oh, thanks, Kat.
All right. In that case, Alex, do you want to go ahead and start?
Yeah, sure. So we've taken the client side of Emporous is obviously important, and I think we have a pretty good expression of our intent and the concepts that we've been kind of promulgating over the past year. I think we have a pretty good expression and reference implementation of that within the ORIS, within the Emporous client. And for those that might not know, Emporous imports very heavily from ORIS. Emporous is kind of an extension. It's essentially a common data model for interacting with these artifacts, but using the ORIS registry client and a lot of the other features within that code base. The reason I'm saying that here is because we've made significant progress with some of the developments within the OCI 1.1 in the context of the OCI 1.1 release, where they I'd have to follow up on the PR. It's very long right now, but where they've essentially decided to not include, or tentatively not include, the artifact specification. They're going to be going with the image specification. We've kind of taken this opportunity to further connect with the ORIS community and propose a working group to develop a search API on the registry side. So what this effectively does is it marries our reference implementation within the Emporous client with the registry side, with the registry side of how do I say that, the behavior that we need, or the capabilities that we need, with regard to the Emporous and the Emporous concept. So right now, ORIS has in the community call voted to establish this working group. They're working through some of their internal governance and processes to establish the working group now. And so I'm very focused right now, because I can't do everything at once, in maintaining my employment at Red Hat and working on projects that have been assigned there, but also in my time contributing to that working group and furthering this, because this is really a requirement of any client side functionality that any practical client side functionality that we want from the Emporous side. In addition to other use cases like establishing service layer for use cases where people want that remote capability, and then I would just based on that, we don't have any timeline right now as far as like when we would expect this working group to be able to produce specification that's implementable, but we've identified that it's going to be a few different parts. It's going to require a new manifest specification. It's going to require a distribution API extension. And then it's also going to require some type of guidance for the indexing within the registry to underpin that API. So with that, I'd turn it back over to you, Kat, and then also ask if there's any questions.
As far as input goes, are there like immediate short-term goalposts to watch for or to contribute to?
So the immediate goal right now is to establish the working group as a working group within the ORIS community, within their organization, GitHub organization. They need to modify some of their governance. I guess that CNCF is trying to they're reevaluating how sub projects and working groups are established under their tenant projects. So once those concerns are ironed out, then and once we've established those repositories that would convey the working group's work, then we would engage in the work to actually establish the specifications. And then offline, within some of the people who've expressed interest from the ORIS community to establish the working group, we've shared a vision doc just to kind of get everybody thinking about the capabilities that they'd want to see from the API.
Is that public?
And what's that?
Is that public?
Yeah, it can be. I can I don't know. Let me verify that, because what I don't want to do is violate anybody's intuition about the comments that they made there. But the goal of that document is to just kind of get the working group thinking about, like, because I don't think that a lot of the Emporous concepts that we've talked about with our knowledge graph based artifact management are widely maybe understood or conveyed within the industry right now. So and I would further specify decentralized knowledge graph. So but it's just to get that working group kind of thinking in the direction that Emporous has already kind of blazed ahead, within our own project.
That's good. Yep. If we can come back with the link to that document, it would be nice to have that just for public awareness. Otherwise, any other Q&A?
I was just also going to say that document is going to be, if it's accepted by the working group, seeded into the repo that the working groups are working from. So that would be public facing eventually. I would just need to find out whether I can release it now or later.
Okay. All right. In that case, one thing that I did actually want to add. Why Google Docs? There we go. Okay.
Sorry, just one more thing. Were there any other questions from the group around that?
I do have a question on that. Is the search API mainly focusing on searching existing data that is in the registry, or is it addressing future specifications that are going to be added to the registry?
Yeah, so within our proposed collection specification in Emporous, we have a scheme for indexing, indexing what I would just call attestations, or anything we put on the content, and that's done with dynamic schema registration, where the schema ID that we're publishing under, all of the all of the attestations would be indexed under a schema ID. What is proposed right now that Jennifer and I have been working on was anything that doesn't adhere to the scheme that we're using for the dynamic schema registration would be just kind of generically dumped into a schema extension that would just be general annotations that were on existing content. So they'd be searchable, they'd be discoverable, but not if you were doing, like more like a link data type, like a Sparkle queries or something. They might fall off in something like that.
Got it. All right. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
So what is this Emporous community? Is this some internal community in Red Hat?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
You're talking about this Emporous community, right?
Yeah, so Oris is a project that was established. I think the primary contributors to that is the Azure team at Microsoft, working on the container registries there. What that does is just general artifact management. The acronym for Oris is OCI Registry as Storage.
So is that internal to the organization, or we can get involved in the discussion?
Oh yeah, so they have bi-weekly community meetings, and I can put the Oris GitHub project link in the meeting agenda here.
Cool.
One thing that I was talking about right now, Ned can't make it today. He is teaching some HCL stuff. But Fridays are his usual day to have free time to jump into volunteer work for Empress. And one thing that Alex, possibly you and I, can team up on is making sure that we have very easy to find items for someone like Ned to pick up and run with. He's definitely already spent some time and is still eager to contribute. So if you and I can find time to cover that, we might be able to continue to maintain his another interest.
Yeah, so just real quick, and I don't know if this is going to show up in the issues as we go through them, but Jennifer did do some work identifying good first issues within the code base. I don't know how approachable some of those are going to be.
That's good for code base.
Mhm.
Ned and myself are other supporting effort type people. Neither of us right now are going to be submitting to the code itself, so we need to. That's why I was thinking you and I can probably put our heads together.
Yeah, let's rock it out. That's fine.
Some of that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, unless there's anything else to add to general items, I can jump into some PRs and bugs. Alrighty then. Since we switched to a bi-monthly cadence and had to cancel our last meeting, that means there's a month of stuff that we probably need to run through. But y'all have been doing good.
Yeah, those depend about alerts
Yep.
rear their nasty heads. Jennifer and I have been discussing that. We're gonna tackle those here as soon as we're able to.
We jump to issues. We don't have anything new that's standing out. And I checked the mailing list. We don't have any activity there right now. So in that case, that might cover the agenda for this week. Any other last shout outs, questions? Going once, going twice. All right, this was a smaller meeting, but that is fine.
Kat, it looked like Steve came off mute. I was just gonna see if you had anything.
No, I'm good for now. Just I just was looking at some of the PR, so that's it. I'm good.
Okay, and I think just we from our day jobs have just been, Jennifer and I are on the same team at Red Hat, and kind of given a lot of the industry headwinds, have had to kind of go heads down into some of our immediate tasking to serve our business interests internally. So I think if you're seeing a little bit of a slowdown as far as like her and I's specific contributions, that's what's driving that. But and then I think that as you're going to see this API work going, I think we're going to have to split our attention further to making sure that API is meeting the needs of or kind of the I don't want to say expectations or needs. I'm failing to find the synonym that I'm trying to, but it's meeting the goals of the Emporous project. So we're going to be very focused on that as well. So that's not to just wanted to kind of set the situation around the community right now as far as active development on the client itself.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right, then in that case, we will have another meeting in 2 weeks. It looks like that will be on the 22nd. Anyone is welcome to add items to the agenda at any time. I know that I can frequently forget what's going on, and why is my mouse deciding to stop working today? I can forget things that happened 2 weeks ago. So if something does come up and you want to make sure that it's addressed in future meetings, please feel free to add that at any time. Other than that, it was my pleasure to be your host, and we look forward to seeing you then.
Thanks.
Thanks so much, Kat.
Thanks, Soren.
Well, thank you. Take care all.